天元现世，傲视群雄。
修身齐家治国平天下。
I think it was a wolf. When you came to him, he is standing up on the building, and after jump to you, and you start to fight with him. It's like small one boss, not a big one.
Let me teach you after this. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
At the first, there is no company that can produce the original animation, so it's really a very newbie for this animation industry. But now, Hangzhou just gathered hundreds of related enterprises, launched a large number of animation products.
Hey yo, pack your bags and follow the tracks. Open your minds and try new things, man.
Hey there! Welcome to Hangzhou Youthcast.
We're here to bring you the coolest stories.
Listen to the ideas of international youth.
Coming to the realm of global youth cultural exchanges.
It's Hangzhou Youthcast.
It's Hangzhou Youthcast.
Hello guys, welcome back to Hangzhou Youthcast. I'm MC Fanchi here. And last week we talked a lot about the movie Ne Zha2 and background cultural things and the spirits and the characters. And this week we're going to dive deeper into the movie and the relationship between the movie Ne Zha2 and the city Hangzhou. So today I'm so happy to have my friends here, Eric, Daniel, and Fan. So let's do a brief introduction. Start with Eric.
Hello everyone, it's Eric here from Zimbabwe. I'm doing my PhD studies at Zhejiang University. I've been in Hangzhou for 7 years.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel. I'm from Russia and I'm studying master degree in Zhejiang University.
Hello my friends, I'm Fan. I'm now represent for the Hangzhou citizens in China. I work for the Hangzhou TV and also I used to work for the UNESCO Windhoek office in Namibia. So I'm also familiar with the Chinese culture and a little bit about the African culture. I'm very happy to be here to talk with you guys.
Welcome. Okay, let's get started. Most of us, we grew up with the movie from Disneyland and Pigs or maybe other film industry. So after watching Ne Zha2, and what do you think of the differences between Chinese animated film and Disney's film or Pixar's film?
Well, I think like between the Ne Zha2 and the Western animated films, actually, Disney and Pixar try to make the cartoon more lighter, like funny, soft for the children, like to understand. But in Ne Zha2, they actually make a lot of actions, deep feelings, and like if you're talking about previously, we talked that like we cannot understand his enemies or like good person. Yeah. And if you're talking about
similarities?
Yeah, similarities. Actually, actions.
Actions,
yeah.
They fight a lot.
Yes, fight a lot.
That's true. And what about Eric?
Yeah, I think I'll start with the similarities, right? I think first, it's just storytelling. They are all doing storytelling.
Yes.
I think it's common. And the other thing is that the audience. You know, initially animations seem to be like meant for the kids, just like what Fan was saying that my father was like, no, that is for kids. But now they've all evolved, so the audience is almost the same now. Even we love to watch animations more than the kids themselves.
Yes.
And I think the other commonality there is I was just watching this, there was a guy who was doing a commentary on Chinese animation, and he said that before we used to say that one of the key differences between Western movies and Chinese movies is the investment behind it. He was saying that Chinese animation there was kind of low investment behind it, and that means that it was a bit cheaper to make Chinese animations. But really, it's no longer the case. Things have changed. It's almost the same now. It's the same. It's the same. So now we think about the animation technologies being used, right? Computer-generated images. It's same. These top technologies, they are using almost the same technologies. But then what differs from my perspective is, the themes that they focus on. For instance, in the West, they like to focus on themes that talk about certain values.
Yes.
They like to have those themes about gender issues. They love. It's very, very, very clear that those kind of content. But then from the West, from China, I think what we see from Ne Zha and even some other animations is a focus on some kind of, I would say, maybe society collective, society collective opinions, society collective values, norms. You could feel it. It's based on the cultural and traditions of the Chinese, which I think also. But by the way, when you think about the issue of folklore, or maybe the issue of the culture being the background of Chinese animations, I think it's also a commonality with the Western ones, because I watched Cinderella is based on some European folklores, right? So this is what happens also in China. But I think what differs is the fact that in China they would then dig deeper, and most of the Chinese animations are based on written, I would say written folklores that are there. We are just talking about Ne Zha2. It is saying function. Now, if we think about also the technologies that are being used, as I said, they are using almost similar kind of technologies, computer generated images. But if you take a look at the details, right, you would realize that the Chinese animation movies, they have some styles that are totally different from the Western ones, which are maybe you can find it in Chinese calligraphy or maybe Chinese paintings, right? In Chinese paintings, there are certain colors that you tend to see more, like those reddish color. Chinese animation used a lot of red color. And then in painting, you have those mountains with shadows and everything. You would see them appearing in animations like Ne Zha. So it's a more comprehensive, I would say, a gathering of Chinese art, Chinese folklore, Chinese history, Chinese culture, Chinese traditions, whereby in the West, maybe some of the animations that we are seeing there are just fairy tales and some certain narratives. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I was almost going to write down some notes. It was like I'm having a lesson.
No.
You see, I just like this, and then I just tell me more. Thank you for your sharing. And I also want to know from a Chinese perspective. So, do you have any favorites like movies from other countries?
Yes, sure. When I'm a girl, I also like to watch the princess.
Yes, I know.
Yes, every girl has a dream for the princess.
Yes.
Especially Disney and also DreamWorks. But also, I think I have two perspectives for that. But first one is that in the just traditional cartoon movies, every princess need to wait for someone to save me. Yes. So every girl just want to in their imagination there are a prince that is very perfect and he will come to save you from your difficulties. But now in the movies, just like Ne Zha, I think the core value is that it's only yourself can save yourself.
Yes.
Yes. So at the end of the movie is also Ne Zha himself just break all the difficulties by himself.
Yes.
So that's the core value of it. And also the second part is just mentioned also by Eric before, is that in the Western movies, there usually a very opposition between the good and evil. The good guy is a good guy and the bad guy is a bad guy, just like the stepmother
Yes, it's
of
clear.
the of Snow White,
Yes.
and also the devil witches or something like this. But now in the new movies like Ne Zha, I think it's not very totally the 2 points of the good guys and bad guys. It's not the just the traditional rule that the bad guy must be defeated by the good guy in the end. I think there are just the two different groups. They have two different values, and they just have the fights for their values, or something like that.
Oh, yes.
Chinese philosophy like the Tao is
Tao, yeah.
yes. Taoism just sees that the life and death is as a circle. When where the death isn't the end of one's life, but it's a new beginning. So but the Taoists just tell us we need to follow the natural laws and not going against the human nature or fate. But at the opposite one, the Ne Zha2 is just deliver a very opposite value. It just deliver that my fate is mine and not the heavens. So that is yes, actually. So that's the difference, because the Ne Zha2 just deliver a value that human can conquer the nature. It's just put a very importance to the human's power. I think it's a difference, but it's also the two different value from the Chinese culture.
But what I think about that is that Ne Zha wasn't really trying to. They were not really trying to come out with a movie that does the opposite of the Chinese culture or the Chinese philosophy or traditions. I think they were just trying to strike a balance in terms of finding something that is appealing to the global market and that has some common values. I mean, especially the young people in our generation, this is the kind of the status quo that we have. Most of the young people are like, no, I'm the owner of my destiny.
Yes.
I mean, I can change everything. I mean, if in our family nobody went to university, then I'm gonna make it myself. If things were gonna go like this, I think I can still turn things around. So I think that's also another point that I saw from Ne Zha2, and I was like, I think this is pretty much interesting. When I heard that saying, "wo ming yo wo bu yo tian,"
yes.
really? I mean, if we are thinking about this statement from a Chinese cultural background, it really is implausible. But really, I think they were trying to strike a balance between when they are delivering a piece that is rich of Chinese culture, that similar piece can also be appealing to people with different cultural backgrounds.
Yes,
I think that's what they did there. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's why Ne Zha has got such a wonderful phenomenon result here now. I think that's a kind of heroism.
Yes,
Yes.
actually.
You know, he faces the risk of ruining his body or maybe his life to fight against his fate and to protect his hometown, which is Chentang Guan.
Yeah.
And I just like I mentioned before, it's a heroism. So I also want to know, so how do the movies from your countries to show their own heroisms?
Well, in Russia we have a cartoon. There's a lot of seasons about them. It's Three Bogatirs. Actually, it's about the three knights by Russian legend. We called them Dobrynya, Ilya, and Alyosha. Yeah. They represented as a brave and strong men.
Yeah.
Also, they solve fight with the enemies and use their smarts to protect everyone. It's like really interesting. It's maybe same as Ne Zha, like heroism, about heroism. They also. and also they try to help others.
Yes, yes.
Like when they're traveling somewhere. The cartoons mix humor with traditional values, making them fun and easy to understand for everyone. Like this about this movie. Yeah.
Okay. And Eric?
Yeah, our movie industry is not so well established. It's still developing, and so I think most of the animations that we watch in Zimbabwe are just from Hollywood. So I remember when I was in primary school, we used to watch a lot of those Cinderellas and Mickey Mouse. We used to watch all of those things. And I remember also like Spider-Man's animation. I mean, almost in Zimbabwe, I think almost everyone watched that. But then the heroism that you see from Spider-Man is totally different from the heroism that you see from Ne Zha.
Yes.
Yeah, because them, as Fanny was saying, as I mentioned earlier on, it's all that bad and good usually in the West, you would say that the hero is supposed to be the good guy, and that is the guy who is going to save everyone. I mean, that's the end of the plot. But in Asia, I mean, you were just waiting to see what is going to happen next, because you didn't even know who was really the good guy.
Yes.
It's really hard to tell. Like, you don't even need to think about it, because suddenly you are seeing Ne Zha is, you know, in Ne Zha 1, I was seeing what he was doing, you know, before he really started, you know, to play that role of being a hero.
Yeah.
I mean, all the villagers in Chengguan, what is it? Chentangguang,
Yeah.
they really were pissed off about Ne Zha. Like, hey, just lock that kid inside the room. We don't want to see him out here.
Yes.
So I'm like, hey, I think this kid is really naughty. Can someone just solve this problem, please? But then at the end of the day, you then realize that that naughty boy is actually the one who is going to save everybody in that movie.
Yeah.
So this is what is complex about Chinese heroism in these animations, just like what we are seeing in Ne Zha 2. I don't know if that is what happens in also other animations, because I don't really watch movies so often. For me, I follow those series, especially you know, the kind of series that I like watching. There are those kind of series maybe your grandmother and grandfather like watching, like about the rural areas, about some society issues. Those are the kind of stuff that I like watching. But it wasn't really my first time to watch a Chinese animation movie. Yes, and I must say that I was so impressed. But then this point of heroism that we are talking about, I wouldn't really use it to describe Ne Zha, because the heroism that we know is what we see in those Hollywood animations. That is, there is one hero that is going to come out, like it's very easy to notice. But then in Ne Zha, yes, Ne Zha is our hero. But someone can just come out and also say, I think our being is the hero. Yeah, I think our being is the hero. And then someone can say, I think the hero is Tai Zhenren. It's also possible that you can say that. So I think heroism in this Chinese animation is really a very complex I think thing that we saw coming out. Yeah.
I see. Thank you for sharing.
Tune into Hangzhou. Discover the world. Hangzhou Youthcast.
And also, I really want to know. So what do you think of our Chinese heroism?
Yes, I think in the Western movies, I think the most of the heroism is individual heroism.
Yes.
It's like a superhero and save everyone by himself or
so many
herself.
characters in my mind now.
Yes.
Superhero, yes.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the right word there.
So the Hollywood movies often see the hero just fighting the lots of the bad guys by himself or herself. But I think in Chinese culture is a different value, because the Chinese culture values the collective. The small collective is small group is like a family, but the large group is like a country. So in Chinese culture, the country Chinese people I think will regard the country also like a big family, and we all have the responsibility for that. And there's an old saying that it's like the 修身齐家治国平天下. In English, is that self-cultivation first, and second is the family governance, and then the world peace. So it's become large and large, which means everyone has the responsibility to take care of their own small family first and then take care of the country. So that is the difference of the Chinese heroism. I think it's more like a group and collective heroism. Yes.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you there. I think that's the main difference between Western heroism and Chinese heroism. And that's why I was saying that I wouldn't want to use heroism here to describe Ne Zha, because usually heroism, it sounds like you are trying to bring out someone that this person is so clear that he is the main character in the movie, and that's the hero of the movie. That is the character that is going to save everybody, because that character is going to be fighting against bad guys. But it's really difficult to tell from Ne Zha too. And that maybe if it's a collective, I think I would agree on that. Yeah, and that fits well to the Chinese context. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for mentioning collective, because Chinese people advocate collectivism.
Yeah.
So, and the production process of the movie is also a good proof of the concept. So have you ever noticed the production team of Ne Zha2? It has there are 138 Chinese animation companies, and over 4,000 animators are involved in the special effects production of Ne Zha2. Yeah, and and also some of them are from Hangzhou. They're based in Hangzhou, and because we all live in Hangzhou, right? We know that Hangzhou is an internet and digital smart city. So in Hangzhou, there are also so many international animation festival every year. And I'm sure that, especially Daniel, you must know about Black Miss Wukong, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Black Miss Wukong. So this is also, the game is from a local company, which is the Game Science. So can you share with us what you feel about Hangzhou's animation or technological culture after living in Hangzhou for so long?
Actually, the technology is like in Hangzhou, the technology is like moving, It's like try to improve yourself. Before I had a chance to come for one company to make interview about the company, and they providing a service as animated a map of the city. I saw how they was making a Jinshahu street.
Yes.
Like this. And it was really interesting because their company cooperate with a lot of Chinese company like in China. For example, it was Gaoditia, Baidu.
Yes.
They made animation of the buildings, like 3D scan of the buildings like that. If you want to see like is the city, it's really great. And also I had one event about Westlake technologies, and we used to, with my classmates, we use AVR glasses to see as the sky. It was really incredible and amazing. And how you said previously, I tried Wukong also on this event.
Right.
Really, actually, the the quality is really amazing. But about game, it's really difficult.
Really?
Yeah, because like I tried 5 times to fight with one boss, and really I've run 5 times, I lost, because it's not big boss, it's like middle.
Sorry, which one?
How I can say?
You can play?
It's like
Of course.
I think it was a wolf. When you came to him, he is standing up on the building, and after jump to you, and you start to fight with him. It's like small one boss, not a big one.
Let me teach you after this. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes. And how about Eric?
Yeah. Well, I think the technology in Hangzhou has been moving so fast. The development is so quick. I came to Hangzhou in 2017, and I remember when I came here, there are a lot of things that were just starting, and I heard from the guys that had been here before, telling me how they saw companies like Alibaba developing and now everything being done online.
Yep.
And I mean, before we even get to animation, just think about Hangzhou as a technological city. This is quite interesting about this city is that it's so technological. There are a lot of high-tech companies here. We have seen them, and I think especially during the Spring Festival, you've heard about the 6 little dragons.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that tells you about how this city has developed its technology and how the investment climate here has actually managed to attract more high-tech companies to come out of this. So it wouldn't be surprising that Hangzhou's animation is also on another level, as we have seen from Black Myth Wukong. And you also mentioned that some of the scenes in Ne Zha2 were also taken from Hangzhou. I actually also saw some news that I think it was in 2019 when they made the White Snake animation.
Oh, White Snake.
Yeah,
yes.
the White Snake by Sher. And all of these animations are also coming from Hangzhou. So I think what really matters for Hangzhou is not only the technology, it's because there are a lot of stories to tell about this city. So just now I was talking about the White Snake, and that's a story from the West Lake. And so many of these animation companies, I think they are looking for those kind of places where first they have a very good investment climate and maybe the services that they are getting there.
Yes.
The services from Hangzhou really, I'm someone who really like to follow up on that. They're giving very, very positive impression about the services that they get from the government here, the efficiency. I have at one point in time opened a company in Hangzhou, so I know what I'm talking about. It just takes I think if your materials are already within a day, you would have opened your company. So these are the things that these companies are looking for. If you are in high tech, if there are those grants that are coming from the government, if there is these kind of services that are there provided for you, definitely Hangzhou would be the best choice for you.
Many policies.
Many policies. So I think they are getting lucrative policies. They are getting government support, and they have a city that has many stories for them to tell, and they have a city that has also a lot of talents. We have big universities here like Zhejiang University, which can readily provide talents for them. So I think this actually explains why the animation industry in Hangzhou can be booming as it is right now.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, and also you.
Yes. Have you know that the Hangzhou has also been called the city of animation?
Oh, really?
Yes, actually. Because Hangzhou from almost a zero foundation, and at the first, there is no company that can produce the original animation. So it's really a very newbie for this animation industry. But now, Hangzhou just gathered hundreds of related enterprises, launched a large number of animation products. A large number of local animation enterprises have grown very rapidly, such as the Zhongnan Cartoon and also the Xuanji Technology. I think they're most focused on the 3D animations. The 3D animations in China is grow very fast now. Yes. And also in 2005, Hangzhou won the right to host the first China International Cartoon and Animation Festival. And also it was approved as a permanent venue for the following years. So as for the animation festival, have you been there before in Hangzhou?
No, I just watched it online. I think... is it still there this year? Are they going to host another animation festival this year?
It's like the CP30 maybe.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this time around I would have to just pass by and see what is happening there, because I think last year I was invited by one of my friends to go there, but I was a bit busy. But I saw it on news. It was trending, and at that time I still didn't actually know what Hangzhou was up to as far as animation is concerned, because I was just like, well, are there really animation films or movies from Hangzhou? I know less. I have never heard about animations from Hangzhou until, Black Myth Wukong came, and it was really a very, big plus for the city. That's how it got to be known in the animation sector, although that was an animation game. But then now with Ne Zha2, you're saying some of the scenes, some of the companies that took part in that are also in Hangzhou. So I think that makes the animation industry here appealing. And if I have I think I'm definitely going to go there and have a look. Yeah.
We just keep on talking about Ne Zha, and we were like recommending Ne Zha. So I also want to know, is there any films or media works in your country that are popular with international audiences and that you want to share with us?
Yes. Actually, we have, around 15 movies which was showed in America, in Europe. But two of them is like Night Watch and Day Watch. It's actually a horror movie.
Horror? Oh, really? You are recommending a horror movie?
Of course, why not? It's like horror fantasy about the light and darkness. They're fighting between the light and darkness. And so, Night Watch, it's a film about that. The night the night watch protects the light. The day watch controls the dark. Yeah, it's two different films on the one theme, Actually, it was really interesting. It was in my childhood. Like, I was maybe around 3 years old when it's showed. Yeah. Yes.
What's the horror movie?
Actually, I started watching horror movie from 8 years old, like around this. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right away.
So why my parents don't want us to, like, you cannot watch these movies, the type of these movies. But actually, it's really interesting. It's about like Russian, Russian. Actually, it's Russian cinema, yeah. About Russian culture, actions, and fantasy. They using everything. It was like first interesting movie maybe in Russia, like.
Oh, I see.
Do you watch horror movies?
Yes.
Really? You like them?
A little bit.
How about fun?
No, never.
All he was talking about, I the only information I caught was horror movie. Send me the name
And 4
after
years
this.
old.
Okay, you must watch it because it's really interesting.
Okay.
And Night Watch, they got around $1.5 million. In this time, it was like in 2004 year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
The only horror movie that I remember is Wrong 10. And I wouldn't want to watch that again.
All right.
Oh my God. I really like horror movies. If you're still content about this talking, I will explain a lot of films.
Yes, next time we can talk about your horror movies.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this episode, we talk about the movie Ne Zha, and we talk about the characters, the spirits, and also the plot and their spirits and their culture, so many things. And I really want to say thank you for teaching me a lot.
No. It's not teaching. It's just sharing what we think, and it may not be precise because it's us foreigners who are trying to interpret Ne Zha2 based on what we saw.
Yes.
Which is just shallow.
Oh.
I think it's very shallow because, as I mentioned, that we might not really understand Chinese traditions so well, Chinese folklores, Chinese mythology. It's very complex. Every time when I try to really process some of the information that I get from Chinese mythology, I find out it's very interesting but very complex at the same time. Just like what we saw from the Ne Zha2. I think, maybe our thoughts may not be so precise, but maybe interesting perspective. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe next time we can continue to talk about these, right? Because even I'm a Chinese, well, and also as a youngest person here, I also want to say we have a lot to explore. So maybe
Yes.
next time we can keep on talking about this. So anyway, I really want to say thank you for joining us, and thank you to be a guest in Hangzhou Youthcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you
too.
for
Thank
having
you.
us. Yeah.
Okay, so we are now coming to the end of this episode. So how about let's say goodbye together? Okay.
Okay.
So
Oh, really?
3, 2, 1, bye.
Bye.